Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I finally completed my 4th week on Retatrutide and I'm starting to deal with some unwanted side effects from reaching peak dosage levels of Reta for me. So in this video, I'm going to go over the significant events and insights that I've learned this week, and this will be about as condensed as I can make it. With that said, I'm only making one shout out per video now to save you guys some time. And in this one, I'm going to shout out Chase Irons again because he's now on Rumble. And the reason I'm doing that is his YouTube channel was terminated for recommending a site that sells peptides, and he was making a ton of educational content on Reta and other peptides. And honestly, that's why I don't provide sources or even pretend to teach anything about using Reta. I'm only talking about my experiences with a single 10 milligram bottle over 6 or 7 weeks, and I'm taking no other peptides or anything like steroids or HGH or any of that kind of stuff. I'm not a doctor, and everything I say here is for entertainment or informational purposes. I'm really just tracking my journey so that others can learn from my mistakes and to see what I do right for myself. That said, I'm a big fan of Chase for all of his educational content, and if you want to keep up with him, I recommend you join Rumble and subscribe to his channel. I did. I'm going to treat every week from now on as a Sunday to Sunday experience as I weigh myself every Sunday morning before eating my first meal. Basically, I wake up, use the restroom, and then weigh myself wearing only my socks so I don't gross anyone out, because I'm showing a video of my feet on the scale with the weigh-in. But it lets you see my before and after for each and every week, so you better understand my progress. With that said, I came in at 149.4 pounds at the start of this week, and I feel like my weight loss is starting to slow down just a touch as I start to make a serious impact on my body fat, especially around my midsection where I need it the most. While it's hard for me to tell, it does appear that Reta is reducing my visceral and subcutaneous body fat in a balanced way. All I know is I have 2 pairs of sweatpants and a pair of shorts that I can no longer wear because the elastic band around the waist on them doesn't restrict enough. So I can literally start walking forward and they'll start to fall off unless I grab and hold them. And it's just not something I can do. Even if I tuck a shirt in, the condition remains. Anyways, so another thing is I still have to eat at a certain pace in order to get the food in. If I wait too long between bites, it becomes harder to eat the entire smaller meal. I try to eat everything within about 10 minutes to get the food in. And that's because between the 5 and 10 minute mark, I can actually start to feel my stomach close up a little bit. And once it goes out of business, it's really hard for me to continue eating anything. So every day I wake up and I'm only barely hungry at this point with absolutely no cravings or food noise. That said, I'm more picky now about what I eat because not everything I can eat will I actually eat. And I'm still at 2 meals a day with no additional snacks, and I'm not drinking any sodas or stuff with extra calories. Also, I took 2 injections this week on a Monday and a Friday, and in the next morning, each time after that is the least appealing time for me to eat. And if I get any food noise whatsoever, it's mostly at the lowest serum level of Reta in my body, which is the day I'm taking my next injection. After 3 weeks, I have a solid serum level now, and my weight is dropping consistently every week. At this time, I'm calling my dosing schedule NC1/4, and that's just my name for it. 1 milligram of Reta every 4 days. So basically, I take an injection, nothing for 3 days, and then I take my next injection. And I'm calling it this because it appears to be my optimal dosage and frequency. And I don't pretend it's the best for anyone else. And so far, I have no reason to change dosage or frequency. Right now, when I'm between 1 milligram and 2 milligram serum level, I feel my best. I feel like I found the right flow state between satiety versus side effects. And when I get above about 2.5 to maybe 3 milligrams of serum level in my bloodstream, my satiety level is essentially full, very full, or I'd even say stuffed at that absolute peak serum level. I'm also having less sleep about 2 days a week, though I'm noticing that when I do sleep, it's deeper. So this week, for example, like last week, there were 2 days, usually the day after I inject, I just sleep a little bit less, but it was noticeably deeper, and that's a good sign. Even those days that I'm not having less sleep, or I'm getting about 4 hours of sleep on average since I am in insomnia, those days are sleepers. So things are getting better globally, basically. Within my body, it's getting better. So it's a positive direction that once I get off Reta, I think my insomnia will actually be better across the board, both in terms of duration and quality. But I do notice within about 30 minutes to an hour after taking injection, I start to burp infrequently. So I'm responding more quickly because I am at this serum level. So next week, I'm going to start taking my injections in the morning rather than in the evening, so I don't have to deal with them overnight. Because that's one of my concerns. If I take it and then it starts to really build up overnight, that's when my sleep quality starts to diminish. So with that said, I want to talk about how I determine my serum level. At first, I used Google AI. Like I mentioned in the last video, I would just craft a sentence that plugged out the parameters that I wanted, submitted that to Google AI, and then I would get a result. More recently, this week, I found 2 different websites that I go to now to check this out. One is called GLP1 Plotter, and the other one is called GLP3 Planner. And those provide better output that is more readable and even has graphs plotted out showing you what your serum level looks like over time. It shows your peaks, your troughs, and your average output, and you can use the mouse to kind of look at the different points in time and where your serum level is. And this is how I've determined what my minimum effective dose is, my frequency, and serum level. One other side effect that's positive is all my prepackaged store-bought foods are still sitting on the shelf in my personal pantry over here. I have a television set over here, 4K TV, and on the other side of it is where I store my emergency supplies, like Kraft and Velveeta macaroni and pastaroni and Knorr pasta and stuff like that. And I just have no interest in eating any of them. And they're basically emergency supplies when I need to eat something and I don't have any of my preferred meals available. In fact, in 4 weeks, I've only made 1 box of macaroni and I ate most of it and gave it to one of my kids because I just couldn't eat the rest of it. Now let's get to this week's weigh-in. So it's day 28 and it's a Sunday and my weight is 146.4 pounds. And that's yet another 3 pounds lost since the last time. And I'm also 2.6 pounds lighter than my lightest adult weight ever recorded, and that's been since my 20s. And my lowest weight, incidentally, was in late 2018 after years of strict dieting, down from 192 pounds. So I can see and feel the body fat around my waist and hips is less than I've had in years. And my belly is sagging a little at this point, and it looks like I'm losing about 3 pounds a week. I don't feel any weaker or have any less endurance or stamina, but I do feel lighter though. And I want to mention this. I've covered this on my channel years ago, back when it was more used. And I used to do 3-day water fasts. And on that 3rd day before I did my refeed, I could actually feel lighter. Well, I feel like that all the time now. I can actually feel lighter, and moving from point A to point B takes less effort simply because I can tell that I'm 12 pounds lighter after 4 weeks. Only in this case, I'm well fed or fed well enough, and I'm never hungry. So it's a complete opposite experience from going through a water fast for 3 days. Reta is that good. And just so you know, my goal has always been more of a runner's physique that's lean, somewhat muscular, because that's what I had in my teens and my 20s. So since I started at 158.8 pounds and being skinny fat, most of what I've been losing has been body fat. And I should finish this 10 milligram vial on day 40, and I project my ending weight to be about 140 to 145 pounds, somewhere in that time frame by the time that bottle's used up, which is about 6 weeks, which is where I want to be at. So I will have 7 videos that document this entire fat loss journey, and the 7th video will essentially be a summary of everything. So the bottom line is I want to go from a higher weight in the healthy weight range to a lower weight in that same healthy weight range. I want to be on the low end of that range and be at the lowest healthy body fat percentage I can muster, which for me is going to be about 15% body fat once I start building muscle, which is going to start very, very soon. The important thing is, and I can't stress this enough, I'm reaching my goal while experiencing only mild side effects so far. I wouldn't even say my worst effects so far are a deal breaker whatsoever. I'm not microdosing. I'm giving myself the proper dosing at the right frequency for myself. I could see theoretically in the future going up to 2 milligrams once weekly, like take it on Monday morning. But for now, this is fine. And I don't have any plans at this time to buy more Reta, more weight loss stuff. I'm going to be retuning what I'm doing for that. Anyways, I'll talk about that more in future videos. I'll even detail my exact exercise plan for both strength and endurance and mobility, because in my old age, I need that. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.